that, or maybe late afternoon. I have no idea. I was up and I decided to click on and come on and have a great conversation today. So look, we're gonna have a conversation today, and this conversation is going to be about cracks in your foundation. Cracks in your foundation. So when you hear this particular podcast, I want you to think about the cracks in your foundation. What is it, and why is it that you have cracks in your foundation? Are you not serving the craft and educating them in regards to the principles or regarding Freemasonry, period? Not just that BS stuff. I'm talking about some real Masonic education. And I say that because of what we are doing here in my jurisdiction when it comes to that. And I can say this here: in this jurisdiction, we don't teach members to disrespect other Masonic jurisdictions. We don't do that. We find that's beneath Masonic education. Every jurisdiction has their issues. Every jurisdiction have gone through something, and they have cracks in their foundation. Now, the trickery is are you being upfront with your membership? Are you being honest with them? Are you allowing them to grow and to be better masons as they are become a part of your jurisdiction? Or are you allowing them to be the best sister that they can be as they mature and grow in your jurisdiction? Are you giving them the necessary education in regards to the Masonic principles? Or are you feeding them garbage? Are you telling them, well, if they're not part of us, then they're not right? See, that's garbage. I mean, some legitimate principles and teachings of Freemasonry. Are you giving that to your membership, or are you just supplementing them with some milk? I mean, are you really teaching them the esoteric part of Freemasonry? Are you teaching them the extended part of Freemasonry, what it means that after you become a master mason, your work is just now beginning? Are you teaching them, the sisters of the Order of the Eastern Star, that after they have gone through their 5 degrees, now they begin to walk that labyrinth of life? Are you teaching them the true essence of what it is to be a sister of the Order of the Craft? Are you teaching that brother what it is to be a true brother? Or is he just saying his obligation and then he just goes and does what he wants to do without respect to the obligation? Is he an example of your jurisdiction? Is that brother exemplifying himself as a member of your organization, or is he out there being reckless because now he is a master mason and now he feels that he can go and just do? Is he being well educated in the Masonic principles, what is and what's not? Is he are you doing those things for that brother? This is the things that we should be teaching in masonry and the Order of the Eastern Star. And this is what we do here. I can only say in my jurisdiction about what we do and how we plan to assist and aid our brothers and sisters, sisters in the order and brothers in the craft, because we don't want our members to be out in the community not knowing how to carry themselves and exemplify themselves as an Eastern Star and as a Master Mason. I can only say that about this jurisdiction. This is why, for myself, I've backed off on a lot of rhetoric with Masons who tend to want to downgrade or talk about other jurisdictions when you know nothing about them, when you don't visit them or have conversation with them about the essence of Freemasonry. How can you, as a Mason, talk about them? When you don't really know them, you may know a member over there, but you don't know anything about them and the work that they put in trying to assist and aid the poor, distressed, widows, and orphans. You don't know what they do for their membership. And this is why members leave and go where they're respected and accepted. I mean, across the board, you have brothers who may be in Prince Hall lodges, and they may go to an ancient, free, and accepted lodge. You have brothers who may be in the ancient free and accepted lodge, may want to go mainstream in what we call state grand lodges. See, this is a vicious cycle. You can't tell me that there's not members who was part of Modern Free International, PHA, PHO, Ancient Free and Accepted, State Grand Lodges. You can't tell me they don't they don't leave and go and move their membership to these various jurisdictions. We all know they do that. This is a vicious cycle, and it's not a vicious cycle as anything being bad. Brothers wants to go, sisters wants to go where they are appreciated and respected and accepted. They want to be legitimate who they are. They don't. A lot of people, in Masons in particular, Eastern Stars, but brothers of the craft, people want to throw in this lineage thing. Man, that's so old. That's dead. Brothers have gotten beyond that. We're dealing with very well scripted, educated men who are seeking to be Masons for whatever reason they may want to be it. For whatever reason they choose, this is what they chose. Whether they choose international, PHA, PHO, ancient free and accepted, mainstream, or state grand lodges, whether they choose any of those, that's their choice. They go there because this is where they feel accepted. This is where they want to be. And if you don't like the fact that they've chosen these other Masonic jurisdictions over yours, then you got the issue. And this is the important thing about Masonic education. Not just if, well, they over there stealing money. No, 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 brother, because in your jurisdiction, sisters and brothers, they're stealing money too. And let's just be honest. And I said this in my last video when I talked about the structure of Freemasonry. If your foundation has cracks in it, you have to take that trowel and spread the cement of brotherly love. If you find you've offended a brother and you have wronged a brother, you have to learn how to pass that olive branch. Okay. Now, if a brother needs safety, now you got to learn how to bring that brother into the ark of safety. This is one of the emblems of a master mason, is that ark. Okay. Now you got to teach that brother how to come into the ark of safety because he doesn't know how dangerous it is out there. The sister doesn't know how dangerous it is out there. So brothers have to protect their sisters. I don't care what jurisdiction you're in. Brothers have to protect their sisters. Okay. So when you're actually applying the Masonic emblems to your life and your lifestyle, then you need not to even trip on what somebody else may be saying in regards to who you are and where you're at because you already know who you are. You already know your purpose within the Masonic family. And that's the difference. I was talking to a brother the other day from the Grand Lodge of Florida, mainstream or state Grand Lodge. And he and I have a great relationship. We talk all the time. And what I found is that him being there, the craft took advantage of him. He's an African American brother, part of the Grand Lodge of Florida, and they took full advantage of him. They did. And I know because he and I had a conversation. And and in learning and listening to what he had to say, he was pissed. He was pissed, and he probably gonna watch this video and know exactly who I'm talking about. But he was upset because he put his energy into that lodge. And he felt that in the process, he felt, well, you know what? I'm doing this, and you guys are fully taking advantage of what I bring to you. He had his own business, catering, own restaurant. So when the brothers would get hungry and they want to go by there and kick it, they go by his restaurant. And they felt like they didn't have to pay. Or they felt, well, they deserved a discount. You don't deserve no damn discount. Okay? If you go by to show and patronize a brother's business, he don't know your discount because you came by there. If he offers the discount to you, well, that's great. He offered that to you. And there's nothing wrong with it. But he doesn't owe you anything. And the same thing for anybody else. Brothers who own their own businesses, sisters who own their own businesses, stop giving the craft a break. Stop cutting them slack. Let them pay like everybody else pay. Because he's my brother in the craft and she's my sister. Forget that. Let them pay. They don't. And I want to put this. You don't owe them anything like that. Okay? You don't. So when you find that you have these cracks in your foundation, that's because brothers who takes advantage of other brothers, sisters who takes advantage of other sisters, you're not taking the works of the craft and of the order seriously. And this is what's missing in the organization itself, in the society of Freemason. This is the very thing that is missing. Okay, brothers and brothers are not taking care of the sisters as they should, and so you get this thing, you get this whole thing that is missing, and this is what we have to come into a better understanding of the craft and of the order of the Eastern Star and what they supposed to be teaching you in regards to becoming a better person in life and applying those esoteric working tools or the working tools of masonry to your life, you know. And this is where we're at today. Brothers don't know how to apply that. You still living in the past of 13, 20 years ago. Masonry has evolved. It continues to evolve. It's not going to be the same way in the next 5 years as you find it. In the next 5 or 10 years, they're going to be having lodges and you're going to be like hologrammed in. You know, you're going to be in your suit and you're going to be in a hologram and you're going to be visiting brothers. Beam me up, Scotty. You think I'm kidding. It's going to all change. There are some things that's not going to change. The physical interaction, as far as initiations, is something that's going to be needed. But after that, with all of the technology that is coming forth, man, it's going to change. You might as well get on board. Masonry is changing and progressing before your very eyes. It is. And just because you think that you have some lineage or you think that you've been around for hundreds of years, you may not be here in the next 100 years. You may not be. There are some lodges that have been around, man, for a very long time. They're no longer around now. They couldn't change. They couldn't adapt. They brought in members and they ran them away. So this is what you get. So your foundation has those cracks in it. You have a lodge of 100 people, and 75 of them is in their 60s, and the rest of them are in their 40s. And then you have this core group of people who may be in their 20s and early 30s. That's what your lodge is going to be like in the next 10 years. That group of 10 and that's in their 20s and 30s, they're going to be running your lodge in the next 10 years. So you might as well prepare them and give them the best principles and best structure and lay the foundation and cover the cracks with the trowel that you use to spread the cement of brotherly love, so they will understand what the society of Freemasonry is all about. You see, sisters, you in your 50s and your 60s now, and you got sisters who are in their 30s and 20s now. In the next 10 years, they're going to be running things in your chapter. And if you're going to survive, you need them sisters to step up and be in position, okay, to walk those other young ladies who's going to come behind them through the labyrinth of life, to teach them what it is to be a sister, a mother, a wife, to teach them those attributes of those five herons. You're going to need them, sisters. So you best to show them and to instruct them educationally in regards to the order of the Eastern Star. And brothers, you're going to have to be the same. Because if you go back and read in Ecclesiastes 12, you know exactly what it says. That's you. That's you. When your grinders cease to grind anymore, when the windows become dim, and you're not going to be able to hear very well. You're going to be afraid to walk outside at night, and you're going to be afraid of heights. That's you in your old age, brothers. 10 to 15, 20 years from now. That's you. So those young brothers that you have in your lodge, you're going to have to lay a solid structure, a foundation that can be cemented and brought together with love. And if you can't do that, if you can't teach that, your lodge, your chapters are not going to be around very long. The cracks that are in your foundation right now are going to spread so much, and it's going to weaken your structure. It's going to weaken it so badly till it's going to no longer exist. So we know that there are lodges that's been around for a couple of 100 years. They ain't here no more. You have new lodges that's coming that comes up. You have new grand lodges that pops up. Because what happens is your grand lodge that you had for the past 100 years, 200 years, although it may carry the same name, the faces change, brothers. The faces change. And this is what you need in educating your membership. This is what you're going to have to do. And if you can't do it, then you're going to have some issues along the way. This is what you're going to have. So it's very important to take on brothers and show them how to use their trowel, okay, to cover the cracks in the foundation, to strengthen it. It is very useful that we tell the brothers about the ark of safety and how you are able to say, brother, look, I got you. Okay, I got you, brother. I'm not going to let you fall. Although you may have wronged me, it's you need to have an understanding on how to pass that olive branch. And mind you, because I was reminded that olive branch has thorns in it. Okay, the olive branch has thorns in it, and in the process, I may get cut along the way. Okay, you may get cut along the way. These are the things we have to take in consideration when we're dealing with those who don't quite understand the principal tenets of Freemasonry: brotherly love, relief, and truth. And if you are truly about this craft, you're going to have some respect and show some brotherly love. If you're truly about this craft, you're going to have to pass along some truth. And truth is going to cut you to the bone. And when I say it's going to cut you, it goes both ways. Okay? It goes both ways. And relief, this is one that really bothers me, because there are brothers and there are sisters in this thing that really take this relief thing to a whole new level. Brother, let me get 10. Sister, let me get 20. Can I get 30? Can I get 40? I need 100. And you take it to the extreme. And you burn the bridges along the way, and you wonder why someone don't want to come to you and render aid or relief in your time of distress. Because you didn't blew it. You didn't done the thing. And they don't want to have nothing to do with you. I don't care what jurisdiction you in. We know that this thing occur. We know that this happens. And if you know that it happens, then you and your chapter, your lodge, has to do something about it. You have to lay that foundation and that structure. So look, when the new members come in, you say, "Well, we ain't loaning you no money." Nope, we ain't doing that. You should already be in a place in life, so when you become a Mason or an Eastern Star, you should be established in your work. You should be established in your home. You shouldn't be walking around calling yourself a Mason. You broke. You ain't got two quarters to rub together. You shouldn't be walking around calling yourself an Eastern Star and you broke and you ain't got two quarters to rub together. I'm not saying that this is how you came into the organization. I'm saying that when you come into the organization, into this society, you should already be in a position in life to move forward. And I'm gonna tell you this: for me, myself, I don't deal with brothers who can't help themselves. I don't deal with sisters who can't help themselves. If you ain't got two nickels and quarters to rub together, I can't deal with you. I never said I couldn't help you. I just can't deal with you. And I say that because in this thing we call Freemason, there's some lessons that we teach when brothers come in. You're neither naked nor clothes or hook wing. Okay? So there's some lesson that comes along with that. In life, you never know where you're going to find yourself at. You may find yourself destitute. And as a brother who's probably able to assist and aid you, and I do that, you should be able to give that back to me the same way I gave it to you. But no, when you get up on your feet, you want to forget that somebody helped you up. You want to forget that brother such and such loaned you that $1,000 or whatever it may have taken you to get yourself into a better situation. You want to forget about that. And then when you forget about that, what happens is you think you're okay now, and you're not okay. You have not returned that which was given to you or loaned to you. You took full advantage of the craft. And this is what we get sometimes. Now you know we get this. Come on now. Don't act like you don't know that there are brothers and sisters within the Society of Freemasons and the Order of the Eastern Star. They take full advantage of what it of the workings. You know they do. Okay? You know they take full advantage of the workings of the society itself. You know they do. Come on now, don't do that. Don't do that. You know they do. You know they doing it. You know that. So what we have to look at is how do we as individual better equip our inner apprentices and our new sisters coming into this thing? How do we better equip them to be successful Masons and Eastern Stars? This is what we have to do. And when we don't do that, then your structure, your foundation, it all crumbles. It all crumbles. But look, I'm not going to hold you long tonight. I just wanted to send that out to you. And I'm going to say this too. For me, being in this jurisdiction, this is where I want to be. Okay? This is for 35. This is where I want to be. If I wanted to be somewhere else, I would have gone somewhere else. Okay? You're hearing this from me. And it's not that I chose this jurisdiction. It was the members who was here before me that laid a strong foundation for the lodge for which I'm in. Imagine being in the same lodge for 35 years. Imagine that. I'm not saying that there was no ups and downs. I'm not saying it at all. I'm saying that I've enjoyed the craft in this lodge, in this jurisdiction for 35 years. With the ups, the downs, and everything that come along with it, I've enjoyed it. And I don't know how many people can say that. I've seen young brothers come through that are in the Navy, and I've seen them mature, I've seen them grow, I've seen their families, and then they get shipped off. You know, they have to go on deployment. You know, they'll come back, and then they have to go again. I've seen that. I've seen brothers come to the craft, and man, they be like, wow, you know, I really feel at home. You know how that makes me feel? You know, for a brother to say, man, I really feel at home. Bro, man, this was the best thing for me. Now, I don't know how many of you can say that, but I've experienced that. And I want to, you know, and to have brothers to say that and sisters to say, man, I really like the Garden of Eden Grand Chapter, Order of the Eastern Star. I really like this chapter, this Grand Chapter. I really like being in this chapter. And man, that makes me feel like, wow, we're doing the right things for our brothers and our sisters because they feel welcome, they feel accepted, they feel like this is home for them. And I'm not, and like I said, I never said that they didn't have no issues and ups and downs and none of that. But what I'm saying is that they feel welcome, that they feel like this is the place for them to be. And for someone to feel that way, it really means a lot. And people can say whatever they want to say. Man, when you've been in the same jurisdiction for as long as I have, it really, really means something. Now, look, I'm going to get ready to go, but behind me is one of my most famed, you know, posters, you know, on my wall, you know, and along with my other certificates and things like that, you know. And so I'm just back here tonight in my spot. You know, everybody should have a spot and just really chilling and just to come on and say, look, you know, you got to learn how to take that working tool of a master mason that is handed to you and spread the cement of brotherly love and understand that masonry itself and its foundation and its structure is strong, but there are some cracks in it. Your lodge, your Grand Lodge has cracks in it. And you who are new master masons, and you who are old master masons, and you who are new sisters, and you who are old sisters, going to have to learn how to be able to navigate that labyrinth of life, sisters. And brothers, you're going to have to learn how to spread the semen of brotherly love. And if you're not doing that, then you should not be a master mason with a trowel in your hand. And I'm going to leave you with that tonight. Until next time. Whatever you do, stay out the bushes and keep your light on. I am not your study guide, but I would help you study. I'm out. Peace and be well.